Everybody, Courtney Morse, Natural Wellness Physiotherapy. Today we're going to talk about one of the best hip strength advances that you can do while you're still lying on the ground. This one comes from our friends at Prolific Athletes. It is a murderous hip exercise that they use for all their sprinters and all their runners. It is a really good activation tool that can help us with knee pain, foot and ankle pain, of course hip and lower back pain as well too. So we'll get right into it. On these exercises, it's called 7-way hips. There's about 7 of them that we're going to do. Makes sense, right? Initially, our goal is to get as many of these done as you can. The target is 15. You might start off on a couple days or the first couple days and only get like 8. Cool, that's a good place to start. As you get stronger at these, build up towards those. These make a really good kind of pre-activation, hip warm up before you go and do some lifting or do some running or anything like that. So without further ado, you can use a pillow or without. I prefer without. So the big key thing that we want to do here is that we want to have our hips pointed down. We want to kind of stack them on top of each other. If we don't do it that way, what tends to happen is that we turn our foot out and we start recruiting our quadriceps. And that's what usually gets most of us into this situation in the first place, is we're a lot stronger at our quads than we are in these hip muscles. So we stack our hips on top of each other, have your other hip bone kind of pointed down towards the floor. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of flex our toe up here. We're going to extend our hip back to where we're almost like heel to toe, right through there. Then we're going to go up and down right in this direction. Go up about as high as you can kind of comfortably go. So this is our first one. Again, shooting for 15 if you can. Our next one is hip flexion. And so we're going to go from here, bring it up about as far as it can naturally go, which is about 90 degrees of hip flexion. And so we're going to go through here 15 times as well, if you can. Then hip extension. We will go back on hip extension as far as we can until we bend our knee. And once we start bending our knee, now it becomes a hamstring exercise rather than a hip exercise. So you're going back and through this direction as well too. Again, keeping our toe pointed up towards us, dorsiflex position. Okay. The next one we're going to do is we're going to cycle those two together. We're going to do flexion, extension both, working our way through here. Following that, we're going to do the really tough ones. We're going to start doing the little circles. Okay. So again, having a good position, we're going to do big circles. Do them forward, and we'll catch 15. And they'll do big circles, and we'll go backwards. We'll catch 15. And the last one that we're going to do is like a little bicycle. So it's essentially like a hip flexion and coming back down and kind of cycling our way all the way through that. But now we get a little bit of this psoas muscle that's really important for us to target as well too. So if you have questions about those, try to hit 15 the first time. Your glutes will be on fire, but it's a really great exercise for us to kind of warm up the tissues, and a really nice exercise for us to strengthen those hip muscles that are so vitally important. So if you have questions or comments, drop them in the area below.